program. I'd like to begin by also asking about the emergency use listing application that is currently pending with the WHO for Bharat Biotech's Covaxin. What is the current status of that process, and by when can a decision be taken?
So as far as I can tell you is that the Bharat Biotech has submitted a lot of information already to apply for the emergency use listing. There's a whole process to this, and I can't say when that date will come because sometimes these reviews, as you know, would ask for information, etc., and would require meetings with the manufacturers, etc. So that application is in process. That was began sometime early July. So I am not sure where it is now in terms of the discussions of the committee that is evaluating this, but for sure, it is, all I can say to you, it's ongoing.
It's ongoing, but could it come by the end of August or early September, Mr. Orfin?
Well, hopefully, that's all I can say as of now. I mean, it's very difficult to get a time and then a date, and then after which it's not met at that deadline. But it should be around those weeks.
Right. So hopefully that EUL might come by the end of August or early September. Mr. Orfin, how many doses could India potentially get through COVAX if indemnity issues are cleared for the likes of Moderna, Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson?
Well, that's a discussion again. The discussion of allocations is through the COVAX facility. I cannot say the number as of yet, but if these regulatory and legal issues are solved, then the discussions of numbers happen because, as you know, India is an important part of global public health. It will be a priority for sure for the COVAX once these hurdles are answered.
Right. But when it comes to emergency, India has granted emergency use authorization to Johnson & Johnson, for example. What is the current status of discussions on indemnity with these particular vaccine makers? Do you think India is likely to grant indemnity because that is an essential part of getting vaccines through COVAX? We believe WHO is also part of those discussions. Could you tell us where discussions stand with specific vaccine makers?
So WHO is not part of those discussions. That's with the regulatory authority and what they will issue in terms of these issues that this main issue of indemnity that you just said. So that's something we're all awaiting as to what will be the outcome of such discussions of these manufacturers as well as with COVAX.
Right. India is of the view that, and because these indemnity discussions are still held up, the government has been saying that this has to be a decision that has to be taken for everyone. If you grant indemnity to foreign vaccine makers, you'll have to grant this to your Indian manufacturers as well. And there is also a view that India's own production of vaccines currently may see a boost in September and October. Do you think this process of holding up indemnity, legal go-aheads for foreign vaccines, does this impact India's vaccination program, according to you?
Well, I think it's more of there is a global crunch in terms of supply, right? So if this supply chain or supply pipeline of other vaccines actually are available, then it will help. The challenge is the scale in which India is actually vaccinating, and it's quite admirable in terms of 500 million. That's a huge number with even the current supply crunch. So these are openings for more supplies in the future will of course help.
Right. So you're saying that India should positively consider granting indemnity to foreign vaccine players because this would be essential for boosting India's own supplies?
I'm not saying that. This is an internal discussion of the drug regulators and the manufacturers. You cannot, how do you say, just prioritize changing policies for how do you say the benefit of allowing a few products, medical products such as these vaccines to come in. To begin with, there are 2 very good vaccines. There is also Sputnik, which by, as I know, by end of the year, that last quarter, will be also in production in India. As of now, it's fill and finish. So there are stepwise plans. There's for scaling up the supplies of these vaccines.
Right. On the issue of mixing vaccines, the Drug Controller General of India recently gave a go-ahead to a study on the mixing of vaccines and how effective that process would be. The ICMR has said that the mixing of vaccines has shown better results on safety and immunogenicity. What would be your view and guidance on mixing of vaccines? So
as of now, really, the evidence is so scanty and it's few and far between that it's very difficult to make a general